That's fine.
Did you? Everybody hear that?
Yeah. Bill, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Bill. I was in the police force in Palestine from 46 to 48.
Me? Did you hear at the back okay? Right.
Now, Bill kindly gave us his photographs of his experience, photographs he took, some were given to him, of the years between 46 and 48. And he will tell you about this particular photograph, which I believe is Hyper. So if we start with Bill explaining as an 18-year-old, and you'll see photographs of him on an armoured truck, so you'll see the massive age difference between him now and then. But he was conscious enough to collect these photographs, not knowing probably why, but now they've come to fruition. So in many ways it's ironic that Bill was there when probably Malak's grandparents were around, or perhaps even parents, I'm not sure. I'm not good at dates and time. But there is a connection there. There is almost a sad one in a sense, but the fact that these two people have come together and they're sharing their experience with you, I think is in itself is quite a good milestone. So Bill's going to run through some of these photographs and make him shout, make him earn his keep. So where is this, Bill?
That's Haifa. That's the what used to be called the Kingsway, the main road through the lower end of Haifa. It's now, the Israelis have changed its name now. I don't know what it's called.
If you were to compare that as a city with anywhere, in Europe, how would you compare it in terms of what it offered the people and what it carried out?
It was a nice place, very pleasant place. It was nice. There was nice people there. There was only one area which was you could call dangerous, which was a place called Hadar Carmel, which was the Jewish area of Haifa. But that was even pleasant at times. As you can see, there's a policeman on point duty there, and there's no armoured stuff around him. He's just stood up there on point duty.
And your relationship with the Palestinian police, what's your observations of the Palestine police in between 46 and 48? What was their role? How effective were they?
Well, they were trying to do a job. They were trying to do an ordinary police job, the same as any policeman does in this country. Plus, they had a job to keep people safe in a military standard between two warring factions that didn't like each other. It's as simple as that.
Moving on, if we quickly go through these photos now, this is historic. Where are we now?
That's an old gate into Jerusalem. That's the old dung gate into Jerusalem.
And that you would have, or somebody would have taken that around 1946, 48?
Well, it could have been taken before that. I don't know. I wouldn't have taken that.
And then we move on. And what are we seeing here?
That's Carmel Avenue. That's from the top. That's the road from the top of Carmel that runs right across Haifa, right virtually into the docks.
Okay, Haifa docks.
Yeah.
Okay. You had an experience with, with the Lutheran. Can you explain about, Mount Carmel and the situation that you found, or they found themselves in, and embroiled in the 1948,
Well, the Lutherans were Germans, and they were chased out of Germany in the early 1900s. They could have been the 1800s. And they moved to Syria, and they went to Aleppo, most of them. And then a lot of them immigrated across to Palestine. And they made, a lot of this was done by the German colonists. The beautiful side of it,
okay,
was done by the German.
And you had a story where...
Someone is calling.
That's the sky.
How can we answer it?
Answer the sky.
Hello, Gator. Hello, Gator. Can you hear me? It's very faint, but I can just about hear you. Can anybody hear this?
No.
I can't hear. There's a problem with the sound. There's a problem with the sound.
I don't think we can do this.
No, I think you just need
Can we
to.
just disconnect this?
Come on.
It's just.
Hello? Can you hear? People can't hear you.
Can we
There's
just?
a problem here. There's a problem here. People can't hear you.
No, because we haven't.
Just
got a
hang up.
microphone.
You can't explain it to her.
Let's. Can we close it down? And we'll explain later. I think now.
Should we just carry on with the talk?
To say there's a problem with the microphone.
Oh, that's not good.
If you like, there's a problem with the
Can we
microphone.
go back to the film?
The birthplace of an offshoot of the Muslim religion, the Baha'is. They had a great place up there. I think it's still there.
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah.
still there. Yeah.
And Bill was telling me about the girl that lived in Clifton that was actually a relative of the owner of the hotel.
Yeah, well, she was born in Aleppo, and they moved to Haifa, and they started a hotel, the Jaffa Hotel in Jaffa Road. Well, they were German, so she married one of my police sergeant, and so they had to come to Bristol. But she still had the deeds of the hotel. But when she tried to contact the Israelis about it, no reply. So somebody she knew went back to Palestine, found the hotel, and found it had now been turned into 3 flats, and the rent was being paid to the Israeli government. They would refuse to accept. And she's not an Arab, she was a German.
Yeah. Well, it seems that whatever nationality you are, you can be treated badly in the state of Israel. But moving on, now this again is probably an archive photo. Moving on again. Again.
That's just a twisted road. That's the serpentine.
It's hard to understand that. It looks like a spaceship, doesn't it, to me? But anyway.
A great road to drive down when you're drunk.
Do you know where it was, Bill?
I think it's between Haifa and Jerusalem. I'm not sure, or it might be between Jerusalem and Jericho. The brain's gone.
So it's good to see that. They're difficult journeys, aren't they? They're not that simple. The terrain looks pretty, hard
Yeah,
work.
but it is. But it's beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's no argument about it. It was beautiful.
Press the middle blue one.
Yeah, this one. Okay, thanks.
Okay, next one there.
That's Omar Mosque.
Again, where would this be?
That's
Oh, down a minute. It's going by itself.
it's called.
Can you speak quickly?
That's just the Omar Mosque. That was. That's Haifa off Carmel.
That was the one, yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
So shall I go next?
Yeah. Next.
Yeah.
And again,
That's Haifa off the Carmel.
yeah. So it's a very beautiful place, isn't it?
It is.
This is before 1948. So it just illustrates that there is a proper country here, a proper community, a proper process going on. It's not what's we're led to believe that it's a kind of like a land without people, for people without land. That's a famous quote. So I'm only establishing this in case anybody's under any illusions that there has been grand larceny, to the Palestinian people. But we probably all know that, don't we? More or less.
Yes, Eddie. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Okay. Moving on. Next one.
Well, that's just
Well,
that's
yeah.
your cabbages you like.
Okay. Moving on. That would that be an archive one or is
Yeah,
it?
that's an archive one. It's gate in Jerusalem.
Okay. Move on.
And that's another gate in Jerusalem. That's Jaffa, I think. I think that's the Jaffa gate, isn't it?
Isn't that the church in
I
London?
think it's Jaffa. Pardon?
It's like the church in Relativity.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Okay,
think.
move
It's got
on.
smaller doors and things.
Go back. Yeah.
I mean, in
Now,
Jerusalem.
can you
Huh?
explain?
In Jerusalem.
Sepulchre.
Yeah, that's the one. Her church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem.
And what are we seeing here?
No, that's just an institute, a school.
Okay, again, nice looking building. Obviously things happening, higher education.
Of course
That-
it
that's
is.
the thing.
University.
Okay.
Everything.
What is the
Moving
mountain
on.
behind? What is it?
Carmel.
Carmel. Okay.
Again, moving on.
What is that?
That's just on the Jerusalem city wall. That was a Jewish truck that didn't make it. They used to armour them with steel plate, and that one didn't get through.
Why?
Well, I hope nobody was hurt.
I expect so. They'd have to get out of it.
Moving on.
And
Now,
that,
if Bill can explain this, because this is part of the process of demoralising the Palestinians and the British Army, funny enough. If you can explain exactly
Well,
what we're seeing here.
this is a barrel bomb. This is one of their favourite tricks. It's a 40-gallon petrol drum filled with explosives, covered with tyres. That's the fuse area in there. And they just lowered them down and sent them down.
Who's they, Bill? Who would
The Israeli terrorists, no,
okay.
Jewish terrorists then.
Yeah, okay.
They had one twice that size, two 40-gallon drums, when they destroyed police headquarters in Haifa. There's some photographs there of police headquarters. It had a wire fence 10 foot high down the middle of the road. And they designed a 3-ton truck with a ramp on it, so the bottom of the ramp went over the top of the wire. And they had 2 of those at the top of the ramp. And when they reached what they thought was the front door of the police station, they pulled a lever, down it dropped, over the wire,